What separates the extraordinary from the average? Is it talent? Is it intelligence, or is it something far more powerful, something anyone can access but few ever do? Albert Einstein didn't fit in. Not in school, not in society, not even in science at first. He was misunderstood, labeled slow, dismissed by teachers, ignored by scholars, and yet it changed the world. Why? Because he refused to be average. Most people spend their lives blending in, fitting the mold, following rules they didn't write, living stories they didn't choose. Einstein did the opposite. He questioned everything. He imagined more. He followed his curiosity, relentlessly, obsessively, unapologetically, and that made all the difference. Average is safe. Average is familiar. Average is easy, but average is also empty. If you're here, it's because something inside you knows you are not born to be average. You feel it. You've always felt it. So if you truly want to rise above the ordinary, if you truly want to live with meaning, with impact, with greatness, then listen carefully. Because this is how you escape the average life. You start by refusing comfort. Most people chase comfort like it's a prize. But comfort kills potential. Comfort softens discipline. Comfort seduces you with ease and steals your edge. The edge you need to climb, to grow, to break through. Einstein didn't find his answers in comfort. He found them in obsession, in struggle, in solitude, in deep, focused work when the world wasn't watching. If you want to rise, you must be willing to suffer for the climb. You must become obsessed with your vision, with your purpose, with your evolution, not in a toxic way, but in a deliberate, sacred way.
Obsessed because you know your time is limited.
Obsessed because you know this life is not a rehearsal. Obsessed because mediocrity is a betrayal of who you really are. The world wants to tame you. It wants to flatten you. It wants you to sit down, shut up, and follow the rules. But deep down, you weren't built to follow. You were born to lead, to build, to think, to break what needs to be broken, and create what the world's never seen. Einstein didn't memorize, he imagined. He didn't conform, he rebelled. He didn't accept limits, he destroyed them. Because he understood something most never do. The only way to escape average is to stop living like average people. Average people wait for permission. Extraordinary people give themselves permission. Average people want guarantees. Extraordinary people take risks. Average people chase praise. Extraordinary people chase truth. Einstein said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." That's it. That's the magic. Not being the best, not being perfect, not having it all figured out, just being passionately curious, curious enough to question, to try, to fail, to begin again. Can you do that? Can you stay curious when others mock you? Can you stay committed when nothing works yet? Can you believe when no one claps? That's what separates you from average. Most people need applause to keep going. You can't. You have to build in silence, grow in darkness, train when no one is watching, suffer when no one is clapping, and trust that it's all worth it. Einstein spent years being ignored, years of rejection, years of ideas that went nowhere, until one idea, one spark, changed the entire world. What if your spark is coming? What if your idea, your story, your work is the one that shifts everything, but you give up too soon? Don't. You don't need the whole world to believe. You need you to believe. You don't need perfect timing. You need to start. You don't need a clear path. You need a reason that's bigger than your excuses. If you're tired of being average, then stop doing what average people do. Wake up early. Train harder. Read more. Speak less. Listen deeply. Do what's hard. Face your fear. Confront your comfort. Break your patterns. Kill your laziness. Challenge your habits. And most importantly, protect your mind, because your thoughts shape your world. Einstein understood that. He once said, "The world we have created is a product of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. So change it. Upgrade it. Starve your doubt. Feed your courage. Guard your focus. Because your mind is your greatest weapon, or your greatest weakness. Use it well. Greatness isn't something you stumble into. It's something you build, one hard decision at a time, one early morning at a time, one lonely hour of practice at a time, one rejection at a time, one sacrifice at a time. People love the result, but they don't want the process. They want the Einstein moment, the brilliance, the respect, the legacy. But they don't want the years of being misunderstood. They want applause, not silence. They want comfort, not chaos. They want shortcuts, not struggle. But Einstein didn't take shortcuts. He sat in silence with problems no one could solve. He let the silence grow so loud it became an idea, a theory, a revolution. You don't escape average by moving fast. You escape average by going deep. Deep into your craft. Deep into your curiosity. Deep into your discipline. It's not about doing 1,000 things. It's about doing a few things with relentless intensity. Most people quit because they're addicted to variety. They get bored. They want something new, something easy, something fast. But success doesn't come to the easily distracted. It comes to the deeply focused. So pick something and go all in. Fall in love with progress, not perfection. Fall in love with effort, not ease. Fall in love with the challenge, not just the outcome. Your life becomes meaningful. The moment you stop asking, how can I have more, and start asking, how can I become more? You want to escape average? Become more. More disciplined, more consistent, more dangerous, more uncomfortable, more aware, more courageous. You don't rise by luck, you rise by character, and character is forged in fire. Einstein had it. Not just intelligence, but resilience, patience, conviction. He didn't try to be like everyone else. He didn't compete, he created. Stop competing with people who aren't even playing your game. Your only real competition is your old self. The version of you that procrastinated, that made excuses, that blamed others, that waited. That version has to die, so a new one can rise. The disciplined version, the focused version, the powerful version, the version who doesn't shrink from difficulty, but steps into it. Most people live the same year 75 times and call it a life. Einstein didn't. He reinvented the world because he dared to reinvent himself. So, what are you holding on to that's keeping you average? An old habit? An old belief? An old fear? An old friend? If it's not helping you grow, it's holding you back. Let it go. Cut the dead weight. Burn the distractions. Delete the apps. Limit the noise. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. You will not get this life again. This day again. This moment again. Every second you waste trying to be like everyone else is a second you could have spent becoming who you were meant to be. You were not born to fit in. You were not born to coast. You were not born to repeat, recycle, and regret. You were born to rise, to create, to lead, to build something so powerful that the world remembers you for it. And that begins with a choice. Right now, will you do what's easy, what's popular, what's safe, or will you do what's right, what's necessary, what's rare? Most people won't. But you're not most people, because most people stay average. You were never supposed to. Average is a disease. It spreads through excuses, through fear, through comfort, through the belief that just okay is good enough. But you weren't made for just okay. You weren't made for bare minimum. You weren't made to wake up tired, go to a job you hate, scroll through distractions, and fall asleep numb. You were made for meaning, for depth, for fire. You know it. That's why you're here. That's why this voice inside you keeps pushing. It doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care how scared you are. It doesn't care who doubts you. It just knows. There's more. More to learn. More to build. More to become. Einstein once said, "Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value." You want to live a life that rises above average? Start there. Don't chase success. Chase value. Create value. Become someone who adds something powerful to the world. With your words, with your work, with your presence. Because here's the truth. You don't get what you want. You get what you are.